Crop circles. What are they? Where do they come from? And who's responsible? I went to Stonehenge in 1989, and I believe I have much of that answer. Back in 1989, my parents gave me a choice between an all-expenses-paid trip to England or a used car as my gift for receiving my master's degree in anthropology from the University of California at Santa Barbara. What do you think I chose? Of course, the trip. I'm an Anglophile. That means I love everything having to do with England and Cornwall and Wales and Scotland and just the UK in general, and I'd always wanted to go. So they sent me. Not only that, but the trip itself was offered through the History Book Club, and the theme of the tour was the real and the legendary King Arthur. And I'm a huge King Arthur buff, and so I was in my element. And so the tour lasted 15 days. And during the 15 days, we were taken all around southwestern England, over into Cornwall and up into Wales to see all these archaeological sites and all the places associated with the real chieftain upon whom the Arthurian character is based, and also places mentioned in the legends of King Arthur. Well, one of the places not directly mentioned in the legends, but it has something to do with it, is Stonehenge. One of the legends behind Stonehenge is that the magician Merlin floated those stones on the air to Stonehenge, and that the stones came from in Wales. Archaeological evidence later, centuries later, figured out that what are called the blue stones at Stonehenge actually do come from Wales. So that part of that story is true. Now, whether Merlin actually figured out a way to levitate the stones, don't know. There's a theory that the ancient civilizations like the Egyptians, that they used some sort of anti-gravity technology that had to do with sound and sound frequency. And that's how they built the Great Pyramid. I don't know. But I can tell you what I do know about crop circles. First of all, this is 1989, and I was not very familiar with the phenomena known as crop circles. You know, coming over from America, we were not getting them over here at all. It was, at that time, it was basically, to my understanding, strictly a United Kingdom phenomena. Did not occur in other countries, as far as I knew. So, I hadn't seen too many of them. I've seen some pictures. Again, all the pictures I saw were of crop circles located in the UK. So we're there at Stonehenge. Our guide, Aubrey Burl, he wrote one of the definitive books on the circle at Avebury. And I'll include a link to his book below if it's still in print. And he was really, really awesome. He so incredibly knowledgeable, not just about stone circles, but about King Arthur and castles. And so we saw so much more than what was actually on the itinerary. It truly was the trip of a lifetime, thanks to him. So Stonehenge was on the itinerary. It was day 3 of our 15-day trip. And we were a group of 10 Americans. Then we had our guide, Aubrey, and we had our driver. So our guide and driver drop us off in this field, this empty field. And we're all like, we thought we were going to Stonehenge. And I knew, being the Anglophile that I am, that Stonehenge is right next to a major highway. So you basically pull up along the highway, turn into the parking lot, or car park as they call it, and you park and, you know, pay your fee and go see the monument, right? And Aubrey told us it is along a highway, but I would like you to walk along the path known as the avenue, and that's where they dragged most of the stones that were used to create Stonehenge, just to get a concept of the manpower that went into this monument. And so we're walking along, and it's about a 2-mile walk. So we're going through this field, and this was a field where sheep grazed. So you had to constantly be looking down because there were these little dark black pellets on the ground. That was sheep poop. You didn't want to be stepping in there, right? And so we're all kind of looking down, looking around once in a while to be sure we're still with the group and walking in the straight line that Aubrey wanted us to walk. And then as we got 3/4 of the way, you could see Stonehenge looming larger and larger on the horizon, which was really pretty cool. He had us turn around and look, and you could see a slight indentation in the ground as far as the eye could see where these stones had been dragged. It was pretty dramatic. And as we were turning back around to continue our walk to Stonehenge, suddenly I felt some sort of rumbling in the ground under my feet. I could feel a vibration, and to me, the best I can compare it to would be some sort of mechanical machinery grinding up into gear, getting going, like someone had pressed an on button. And I stood there for a good 2 minutes, not moving, and I looked, and as my fellow tour members started to walk forward, I could see one by one, they all stopped dead in their tracks. And within about 3 minutes, the entire group was looking down at the ground like this and not moving. And Aubrey, that guy was in good shape for a little old man. He was always way ahead of us. He was further ahead. I don't know if he could feel it or not where he was standing, but he had to turn around and come back and say, "What, is there a problem? Why isn't anyone moving?" And we're all like, "Shh." Do you hear anything? And we're listening really hard and no one could hear anything. And one of the tour group members, his name was Justin. He had come with his mother. Justin was the youngest person in the group. I think he was like 17 or 18. I was 22, so I was the second youngest. And Justin got down on the ground and listened. He said he couldn't hear anything, but he could sure feel it. And so we're all standing there going, "What is this?" And one of the people are like, "Is it an earthquake?" And Aubrey's like, No, don't be silly." And he just laughed. But the closer he got to where we could feel the vibration, he felt it too. And I was the last one in the group. I hadn't moved forward from the minute I felt it in the ground, and the area around me was the strongest sensation. So everybody walked back to where I was, and they were all standing around me kind of in a haphazard circle. And we're all like going, "What is it? What's making that sound? What could possibly be making that sound?" And someone says, "Teutonic plates." And Aubrey's like, no, that wouldn't be it. And we were completely 100% perplexed. And the rumbling continued, but we had an itinerary to follow. We couldn't just stay in this field this whole time. And as we started to walk forward, one of the ladies in the group came up alongside me and she said, "Do you feel something weird?" And I said, "You mean other than that vibration under the ground?" And she's like, "Yeah." She goes, "I just feel really weirded out." And she started to looking around at the distant trees. We didn't have any trees near us because, again, this was a field in which sheep would graze. So it was basically flat without any botanical features other than grass. But in the distance, there were trees. And I kind of looked toward the trees on either side of us, and I was just like, now that you mention it, those trees look creepy. And she's like, "Yes, I feel like we're being watched." I said, "Well, maybe the guy who owns the sheep is watching us and he's pissed off that we're all traipsing through his field. I don't know. Do we have permission to even be here?" And Aubrey's, he could hear me and he kind of went, he had his back to me and he went, like, whatever. He was so cool. And so we continue walking, and then another person is like, "I feel like we're being watched." And they have this tunnel there. You can go under the highway and walk in, pay your fee, and get in to see Stonehenge. And that's what we did. Once we made it to just before we were going to go into that tunnel, the vibration stopped. So the vibration did not extend to within about 50 to 75 feet of the highway. Okay? So the vibration was clearly in that field behind us that we had just walked through. We didn't think anything further of it. By the time we were done at the monument and received our lecture from Aubrey about the history and everything and how it pertains to King Arthur and how it doesn't pertain to King Arthur, our driver had pulled up and we got into our little, what they call a coach, was a minibus, and we drove on to our next destination before dinner. The rest of the day was 100% uneventful. Fast forward to the next morning. I'm in my hotel room. I'm getting up, I'm getting ready for the day. I switch on the TV, and they had, at the time, I don't know if it's still on the air, it may be, I don't know, this show called AM Britain, and it was just like Good Morning America. It was the same setup and everything. And I flip it on there, and I'm watching it. And then all of a sudden they say, in breaking news out of Wiltshire, which is the county in England where Stonehenge is located, we have information of a new crop circle. And I had my back to the TV and I swiveled around so fast, I about twisted my back. I was just like, whoa, what? And they started talking about it, and then they showed it, and they showed an aerial view of this crop circle. It was in the same field we had walked through the day before. The exact same field, the exact same area of the field in relation to Stonehenge. And I'm sitting there seeing this on TV, and my mind is just, I'm like, wow, that's what the vibration was. It was that crop circle getting ready to form up on the surface of the earth. So based upon my own personal experience with crop circles, which is limited to just this event, I am 100% convinced crop circles don't come from UFOs above carving into the earth. Genuine, because a lot of them are fakes. Genuine crop circles are coming from below the surface of the earth. That is absolutely obvious to me. I am adding in this little bit of video from the photos I actually took on this trip I'm talking about. These come from 1989. They were taken with a Pentax handheld 35 millimeter all-in-one camera, meaning that I didn't have to change out lenses and I did not have a separate flash. Everything was within the camera component itself. I took pretty good pictures. Anyway, I'm going to go over these, and then I'm going to include some additional photographs taken by my friends on that same trip. So they used different cameras. And one of these, when I go into those, one of them used a pretty inexpensive camera, and the other one had a 35 millimeter camera with exchangeable lenses and a flash attachment and all that. This is where it's going to get really interesting. Now, here's the walk I talk about. There was a little clearing on the side of a road right here where our driver, Birdie, parked our coach, our little mini bus. We got out here and we walked all the way to Stonehenge. And if you see this little gray dot on the horizon, that is our first view of Stonehenge. Not very impressive. Okay, so now I'm zooming back out a little bit so you can see the whole image. Okay, now I'm going to flip. I'm going to keep remembering to turn my pictures at an angle so you're not looking at the glare. Now this is where we're about a third of the way to the monument. It was fairly overcast that day. I do remember cloud coverage was pretty even. Here we have some sheep. And as we were walking through this, we had to be careful for cow patties and little tiny sheep poopies. So it was a whole lot of looking down at the ground. And plus there wasn't a lot to look at anyway. Now, in this photo, when I was going through them the other day, because I was going to use them as picture-in-picture in this video, I started seeing stuff in the sky, and I was just like, I am not seeing what I'm seeing right now. I cannot be seeing this. No. I had my husband look, and my husband's like, what is that? And I'm like, okay, there's something there. Now, when I zoom in, upper left corner, when I first saw this picture, I thought it was the sun. But as you zoom in, there is more than what meets the eye. Look at that. You've got a center lit up, whatever it is, for lack of a better term, UFO. You've got a smaller one to the left. There's the large one. Smaller, smaller yet, tiny. And I think there's another one right here. I can't be sure. But there you go. And it's really funny because you see this tree here, right? As I say in my videos, we were walking across the field, we began to feel like we were being watched. And it was just a very creepy feeling. You know, that feeling of being watched. It's a very uncomfortable feeling. And I don't think any of us felt exactly threatened. I think one woman did, but this one woman was really kind of weird, and she was like the pain in the butt the whole time. But everyone else, you know, I don't think anyone was particularly weirded out. Just, you know, what could be going on here? Very strange feeling. Now we get to where you can actually make out the monument on the horizon. Again, there's a bunch of sheep. We had a kind of walk around. These little dark bits, you got to remember, these pictures are 30 years old. No, they're not 30 years old. How old are they? How long ago was 1989? Someone do the math. Put it in the comments. I don't know. I can't do math. But they were taken in 1989. And here we are getting even closer, and you can start to see the fence posts along the road that stood between us and Stonehenge. Now, in this photo, nothing shows up in the sky either. And if you see anything up there, it's just little black specks. They were used because I wrote on the back of the pictures. Then I stacked them together, and the ballpoint wasn't completely dry yet. So, yeah, that's what comes of that. Here we are right across the road from Stonehenge. Getting all totally excited now. And again, in this photo, you can see how overcast it was. And again, there aren't any anomalies in this photo either, okay? Now, turning to look at the way we came. We came from just in front of these trees over here. And if you look along this picture, you can kind of see a very slight indentation in the ground here. And then there's this line that goes all the way back and a real faint line here. This is the way they dragged much of the stones to Stonehenge. And it created that path. And that's what our guide wanted us to see. So that's why he made us walk a little over 2 miles to the actual monument instead of being like normal people driving up, getting out of your car and walking straight in. So yeah, it was a nice walk though. And plus, we felt the vibration in the ground, you know, and, you know, you can't fake that. You can't pay for an experience like that. They just happen or they don't. Now, this is still my photos, and this is where we're actually up to the monument. Now, the monument, the day we saw it, it was roped off. And if you see in this next picture, here's part of the rope. And so what I was doing, I was leaning in as far as I could over the rope, so I wouldn't get any of the rope in my photos, but there's part of one there. So in looking at these, you can see something weird in this one. I'm zooming in. See it yet? Upper right-hand corner. Look at that. Yeah, there's a whole lot going on over here. And, you know, back in 1989, I wasn't interested in UFOs. I actually kind of thought a lot of it was bullshit. So I wasn't looking for them in any of my photos. And now I'm going to have to go back through all of my pictures. I am an avid photographer and see if I've caught anything else. But here's this large egg-shaped. And then you've got all these little ones around it. So there was one down, yeah, there's one right there too. There's one right there. This might be something going on here, or it could have been a scratch on the negative. I don't know. I don't think it would have been a scratch because this is an original print. And there's the rest of the sky. That might be one. Oh, look. There. I mean, they were all over the place. We couldn't see them. You couldn't see any of this with the naked eye. I know for a fact we didn't see them because we were all still feeling a bit creeped out from our experience of walking across that field and having the distinct feeling of being watched. And I think that's what we were feeling. We were feeling whatever these things are. And they were indeed watching us. That must have been what was going on. And then that night they came back and made their crop circle. I mean, this is nuts. Now in this one, you can see some stuff too. Look at that. You've got far upper right corner. And these look like they're in a triangular formation. They could have been flying information, or that could be a larger craft. And we're seeing the three corners. But then you've got this right here. Now, is that a group flying together? Or is it a very large craft? Again, I don't know. And then there's one down here. And there's one back here. Is that not the craziest thing? And there might be one up there, maybe. Oh my God, I didn't see these earlier. Oh my God. 1, 2, 3, 4. Holy shit. Maybe 5. There might be something back in here. I don't count them all as UFOs just because it could be an artifact of the camera trying to make sense of the sky and fill it in color. I don't know. I don't know if cameras back then did that or not. I don't think they did. But just what the heck is that? And that. And this up here. And these are taken out of protective sleeves in an album I have made by the scrapbooking company Creative Memories. And they were all about permanently keeping your photos safe. So these have not been exposed to direct light until I made this video. Not since 1989, since about 1990, what was it? No, about 2002, I think, is when I was a Creative Memories representative. But not since then have they been exposed to any light. And prior to that, they were kept in photo boxes. So very well protected. So this is not anything to do with issues with storage or anything like that. So these are all my own photos that I took with my Pentax. Okay, all these that we've just seen are all mine. Now I'm going to show you photos taken by a couple of friends of mine, friends I made on this trip, with different types of cameras. Now first we have this nice lady named Deanna, and she did not have the best camera in the world. So these are her prints down here, I think. No. This is hers. This is hers right here. I want to go over that first because it's just startling. Okay, so what she did, she saw someone else was trying to take what we were calling composite pictures, because back then cameras didn't have a panorama option. So that's what she did, and she got a really good one. I mean, edge to edge, it lines up perfect. Now, this is the left-hand side, and in looking at this, I didn't really see anything. But I'm going to look again because I've got a true OTT light connected to this camera tripod thingy, and there we go. Okay, now let's see, where's my pencil? Okay, this is marking again because I had done, see, I've got her name here, Deanna Stonehenge, because I was writing on the other side and stuff got on the photo. But look at that. Look at that. Ooh, there's a good one. So there's 3. And when I looked at this earlier, I didn't see them. Again, I wasn't looking at them directly under this light. So, in an effort to further protect the photos, because they are like 40, 50 years old. I don't know. 1989, whenever the hell that was. Now, here we go. I knew there was something in here. And there might be one here. But isn't that just the nuttiest thing? And they were, it wasn't exactly broad daylight. We had better pictures. Once we got closer to the monument, what happened was I prayed really, really hard, and I had a couple of my other friends praying with me to please blow some of the clouds out so we could get some decent pictures. And the Lord cooperated. So that's why these pictures are so much better than the earlier ones. Okay, so that are Deanna's 2 photos that she sent me shortly after our trip. And now we have the photos from, let's see, these are from Wally and Judy, who were a couple. I made good friends with them. We stayed in touch for many years after. Okay, now he's the one who had the really good 35mm camera with the exchangeable lenses. So, there you go. You're seeing the same thing. Now keep in mind, these pictures are taken with 3 different cameras by 3 different individuals. Oh, I didn't see those earlier either. Look, is that 3 of them? That's 3 of them. Holy shit. Oh my God. No wonder we felt we were being watched. Oh my God, that's just, that's just scary. Oh my God. But there we go. There's the first one. I don't know exactly in what order Wally took these because we were already up right in front of the monument when he was photographing it. I don't think he took any pictures till we got right up to it. Here's a really nice one he took. I love this one. And I don't think I saw anything in this one. Let me zoom in because, again, I have my good lamp. Oh! What? What? Okay. Okay, some of this has got to be dust, right? Hang on. I am cleaning it. I've got a nice, what do you call that material? It's like cheesecloth, but it's for photos to clean them. I just now cleaned it. Oh my God, they're still there. I thought that was dust. Holy shit. Okay, look. Let's count the UFOs, shall we? Let me zoom in first of all. Can I get, yeah, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Holy macaroni. 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Maybe 30. What? What you're now hearing is Nefer's mind blowing, just totally, absolutely freaking blown the hell out. Okay. There you go. There are my photos from Stonehenge. Oh my God, I'm shaking. Again, taken with 3 different cameras by 3 different individuals with different photography equipment, different skills. So yeah, I don't remember. Did I show this one? This one is Wally's too. Let me get it to focus. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me zoom in. Oh, there could be more. Got 6, 7, 8, 9, maybe 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Ooh. 15, maybe 16. Oh my God, it's a freaking swarm. And that other photo where there's 30 of them, I mean, I just can't. I just can't right now. What do you all think about this? Let me know in the comments below. I mean, my mind is just so blown right now. And these have been sitting in a box for, since I finished working on them and to store them properly in, 2002 or something like that, or 2000 and I think it was 04. I'm trying to remember how old my daughter was. I do all of my time periods by her age. And I want to say she was like 6. So that would have been 2004. She was 6 in 2004. That's the last time I messed with these photos. They have not been taken out of their plastic protective sleeves since then. Okay, back to the rest of the video. And I am sure if I were still in touch with anyone in my tour group today, they would agree with me. It had to be coming from below the surface of the earth. And now, with all the UAP stuff, UFO stuff, I don't call them UAPs. UAP is just a weak label they've come up with to kind of legitimize the whole UFO phenomena. They're UFOs. I'm going to call them UFOs. Unidentified flying objects, because that's what they are. Well, I know that crop circles are not being formed from the sky. It's from the earth. Now, maybe, because there is some video of crop circles right before they're formed. You can see like white orbs flying around. So maybe they come up from the earth, or maybe they're harnessing the energy of the earth. It's not anything coming from their craft, but maybe they have figured out a way to harness the energy of the earth up from the center, from wherever, and they bring it up to the surface to create those crop circles. I don't know. All I know for sure is crop circles are coming from below the surface of the earth. And if you're watching the UFO, UAP videos that are coming out, all over YouTube now, a lot of people are seeing these things coming up from the ocean. So they're below the water. So who's to say they're not also below the ground? So that's what I think is the explanation for how crop circles are formed. Now, as to who or what, and for what purpose, I also believe they're a form of communication. And the reason I believe this is because my academic background is in anthropology and archaeology, and my specialty at the doctorate level is the iconography and the epigraphy of the classic Maya civilization. Iconography is the symbolism in classic Mayan art, and the epigraphy, that's the decipherment of their hieroglyphics. And a lot of these crop circles, I'm looking at them and I'm like, that's a message. That is clearly some sort of iconographic message that is being formed on the surface of the earth. Now, whether the energy forming them remains underneath the earth as it's forming or somehow comes out as little white balls of light you can see in some videos, some old videos, I don't know. But I just know it has to do with underground. So that's my take on crop circles. And that is the personal experience I had with a crop circle. So let me know what you think. For my friends who are in the UK, have you ever visited a crop circle, ever seen one in person? Did it feel strange to you? Did you feel any weird energies there, sense anything? Let me know in the comments below. And I thank you all for subscribing, for liking my videos, for leaving the comments. I am really enjoying sharing my experiences with you. You know, originally I started this channel basically for my daughter to preserve my experiences, the experiences of my parents and my friends. So, you know, she'd have something to look back on. And to know how many are enjoying it, it just does my heart so much good. Thank you so very, very much. And a special welcome to all the new subscribers. I appreciate y'all so much. And this is Nefer Kefri, your hostess with the ghostess. And you've been watching True Tales